Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack make it backflip. Telly Hank it with the action. With the Vato speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby May. Just caught a touchdown. From
Yo, we back. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb ties. We on our way to the Virgin Islands with it. U.S. territory. But we gonna make stops in Augusta. Fuck it up with the cheese. Fuck it up with the crack rock. And we also gonna make a little pit stop in Norfolk. Now, the guy that we talking about is gonna be a guy by the name of Jimmy the Juice. Or if we gonna go by the name that our mama named us, we're gonna be talking about James Spencer Springette. But if not, you could also call him Elmo Brady, Elmo Brandy, Cal Pierce, Elmo Spencer, Kent Worrell, Sean Pickering, Brian Miller, Jimmy Springette with an I, James Spencer, Spencer Springer, Ephraim Zohan Johnson, Everson Weberson, Spencer Springette, Jimmy Siegel, Uncle, or just Juice. Now, I a lot of times start by saying, yo, this shit is a movie. Not only is this shit is a movie, but this shit is not Menace to Society, and this shit is not Boys in the Hood, even though niggas doing Boys in the Hood type shit. So, a little bit about James Springer, or Jimmy the Juice. I like that one, man. We're going to go with that. He was born August 18th, 1961. Now, by all accounts, from my research and doing every bit of history that I could do on this guy, by all accounts, he was a boss by the time that he was 30. This was going to be 1991, and that's when shit really started hitting the fan and started picking up. Some people, anybody from Augusta that was born in Augusta, been in Augusta, know about Augusta, got family in Augusta, definitely like through the 90s. Y'all felt this shit. Y'all heard about this shit. Y'all get in the comment box, tap in. We need to know what's going on. But like I said, he was, by all accounts, he was a boss by the time that he was 30. And he was getting kind of knocked for large shipments. And when I said this shit is a movie and it's not Menace to Society and it's not Boys in the Hood, this shit is Casino. This shit is Goodfellas. This shit is Scarface. This shit is Narcos. It's along the lines of those levels. I seen in one account where he said during the 1990s he made $33 million. And the thing about him is, based on my research, it's like the government really caught him touching U.S. soil. He was a black drug trafficker. We cover a lot of drug dealers on Mobb Ties. This shit gonna be like next level. So a little bit about Jimmy the Juice is he was fluent in English and in Spanish. He's originally from the Virgin Islands, but it's said that he was connected with the Medellin cartel. We're going to talk about an episode that happened in 2000, a little bit later, that he came across in Bogota. But yeah, this shit, I want to say it started in kind of 1991, but on June 19th, 1996, the police had been watching an organization that they say he was the head of, or he oversaw, which was the Island Boys. Anybody know about the Island Boys? They supposedly had been heavily in Georgia. We're going to do like mini segments, a Mobb Tie 757 edition, where we're going to talk about two brothers that was actually down with the Island Boys, and we'll talk a little bit about them in this segment. A guy by the name of Eugene Coleman and he had an older brother. I can't remember his name right off top right now, but they had something to do with the Allen boys. And I guess we can kind of start a little bit of the story there. But in Eugene Coleman was supposedly the head of the Allen boys in Augusta. And it was said that Eugene Coleman was kind of a big figure as far as the crack game was concerned. I seen somewhere where he was into it with some rivals from Augusta. It was said that he kept $1 million in a safety deposit box at his house. He wore the key to the safety deposit box on his neck. Rivals shot him, jacked him before police could get to his house. The safety deposit box was gone. Based on my research with Eugene Coleman, not sure if it was that, but from all accounts, what they were saying, that was he suffered some devastating injuries, and that when he was shot, and I saw that he was confined to a wheelchair. He's kind of fighting for clemency right now. So if y'all got the time, y'all go ahead and search him up in the web, and y'all be able to find it and stumble across all of that. But yeah, that kind of started the trickle down effect. So based on my research, the government was watching the Allen boys due to the violence that the drug game and the crack game brought, and the amount of money. Because when I say these dudes was dealing with heavy amounts of kilos, these are not like the 50 kilogram shipments sometimes that we cover, or even a 100. You're gonna have to hit times 10 on that. That's how big this shit go. But I want to say authorities, they pretty much in September of 1992, because I said that he kind of shit started kicking off in 1991, but I'm sure it was a little bit before that. DEA agents got a real first glimpse of James Springette, or Jimmy the Juice, when he was stopped, or he was pretty much picked up coming in on a flight from Atlanta, and he was picked up by Eugene Coleman on a flight coming from the Virgin Islands. And agents had the highway patrol stop them, run their information. The street officers were pretty much familiar with the Allen boys, but they didn't have no information on James Springette, and I guess that's the first time that he kind of popped up on that radar. So the Allen boys, after Eugene Coleman was shot in Georgia, they would like shift different members based on my research is what it looked like. I know another guy named Shaquem Gabriel, another guy with the last name of Pepperton was actually became leader because Eugene Coleman, after Eugene Coleman left, he moved his operation to Norfolk, Virginia. The next leader was a guy, I want to say by the name of Shaquem Gabriel, and this was the Allen boys, because like I said, James Springette, it's rare that you would kind of see him. He was pretty much handling the business overseas. And to tell a little bit about the Virgin Islands is almost like a stopgap. It's almost like halfway from here to Colombia. So pretty much what they was doing was using it as a landing strip or a housing base, and then they would use it from there to get it to the U.S. cities, the ports. And it seems like they just honed in on Augusta, and more to my research that had me dig deeper, and I saw that the special agent Tim Hall at the Augusta location pretty much said that they picked Augusta because it's 2 hours away from Savannah, 2 hours away from Atlanta, and it's probably right it's like almost prime location. And they also said that it was popping with the housing project. So if anybody, all my niggas from Georgia, tell us a little bit about Augusta. We always hear about Atlanta. Tell us about some of the notorious people from Augusta that y'all know, some of the housing projects from Augusta that was there. If any is still around, I doubt it, but y'all get in the comment box and let's talk a little bit about that. But Yeah, I want to say after Eugene Coleman took that took the operation to Norfolk on June 14th, in 1995. That's going to be the next time. I want to say some kind of catastrophic changes for the organization. The FBI agents found a suitcase and it contained 7 kilos, and it was in a carrier, and this was coming in Atlanta. And pretty much the carrier led them to Shaquem Gabriel, and his house was raided pretty much the very next day, June 15th, 1995. They took him down. And a year later, on February 6th, 1996, another bag was found coming in. That bag was found to belong to a teenage girl from a housing project from Augusta. At that time, the FBI kind of determined that the Allen boys were using different carriers, because I want to say this female confessed, gave up information. So that kind of started the little downfall. But besides that, the shit would just go on to get deeper. On June 19th of 1996, so that's a little bit after that situation with the teenage girl get caught with the package. Police had been watching the Allen boys, and this is in Virgin Islands. And they had evidence that they were bringing in kilos, or that they had some kilos coming in. They ended up getting into a shootout with police, and James Springette was seen at, well, the drug deal looked like it was surveilled. So they said it was heavily armed Colombians making a drop-off to 2 vehicles, a Jeep or a truck and a van. Royal Virgin Island police tried to pull the 2 vehicles over. The truck shoots through the roadblock. The van ended up getting stopped. They ended up getting into a shootout where a police officer was wounded in the head and ended up losing an eye. The next day, they found the van crashed out about a mile away from where the shootout occurred, and it was found to contain over 1,000 kilos. So that was one of the next huge downfalls, and then that only led to the FBI honing in on James Springette. And when they did that, they did with a vengeance. I want to say he was caught sometime in 2000. So this is 3 to 4 years after what we just mentioned. He was caught and apprehended in Bogota, Colombia, because he had been on the run for that long, and he somehow managed to escape from a prison located in Bogota called La Picarda, which was a maximum security prison that housed the 2 heads of the Cali cartel. If any of y'all are familiar with Narcos, Miguel and Gilberto. He actually escaped from that prison by telling prison guards that he needed a new mattress. When they brought in the new mattress, he somehow sewed himself into the old mattress and then was smuggled out of the prison that way. I want to say this was in March of 2000, if I'm not mistaken. He then escaped the country and was turned in by an informant in Venezuela, a female informant in Venezuela that went to the FBI. And I pretty much want to say they said the only thing that she wanted was asylum and wanted to get into the witness protection program. So this shit is just so deep. I seen online where they were saying he was on a scale way larger than the biggest drug dealer that you could. When I say like this is like Casino and Goodfellas, you just think about the biggest person that we we think was doing it, and they probably getting caught with 250 kilos. Or just think somebody like Big Meech. Man, he had a takedown where they busted one of the vans. He had a drop off and only one of the vans, and it crashed out, and that shit had over 1,000. It was like 1,260 kilograms in there. So that was a regular shipment. We talking Jimmy the Juice, man. It's your boy Popalot. We gonna be back with the Trill Real Spill shit, man. Y'all know what it is. Mobb, ties.